address this question to Joshua. Did you have any difficulty identifying with En when you were playing?
Well, I think it was more trying to find a good balance between En as pure as it can be, and myself. As it is, I already don't speak Chinese on a very regular basis. I think the last time I did that was in secondary school. But I think that for me to become En also had to become part of me. So I guess that's how stuff like 3 enunciation, all that stuff will come in. But then at the same time, for me to become then the Chinese that's being taught by my mom on screen, other members of the cast as well. That's where we get together lah.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I really enjoyed the film, and I actually cried at one point, which is quite rare for me because I'm usually quite hard-hearted when it comes to films. And I like how it seemed very layered, and even from the dialogue, it seemed that different people draw different meanings from it. And then the metaphor I really liked was the one where En's father was talking about going to an underwater city and then coming back, and how that changed him, how he related to his family after that. So I just wanted to know where you got that metaphor from. Was it from somewhere, or did you think it up yourself? And then also, despite the layers, I felt it was very emotionally accessible, hence the crying. And I also have a very frivolous question that popped into my mind, which is how much effort do you put into the period details? Because it's very obviously set in 1999, which is a very specific point in Singapore's pop culture history, with the IMAX and the Windows 98 and the clothing and all that. So just
Thanks for detecting that. One of my co-producers asked me, why don't you just put 1999 at the start of the film? I mean, I resisted doing that because I felt that the film should be contemporary. The reason why it had to be in 1999 is simply because of the timeline. For a boy to have for an 18-year-old boy to have a father who was involved in the activities, biologically, it was only possible that this film happened in the late 90s. But I didn't want to highlight that too much. And of course, we don't have a big budget, so we can't block off a street. So you'll see that a lot of the cars, other than our own prop cars, they're actually cars from today. So, sorry, you had an earlier question about...
The underwater city metaphor.
I came up with that. The idea of utopia. What utopia can be, where the utopia exists. I think quite naturally for me there was some kind of a linkage to somewhere underwater. Yeah, that's essentially it. I tried to look up on some of the plays, some of the Marxist plays that used to be written. But none of it seemed very relevant. At least those that I managed to find to my story. So I decided to come up with it on my own. There's a quote in there between mother and father. There was actually a quote by Karl Marx about art is everywhere, a secret confession of its time, something like that. Should I wrote it by? Okay, yeah. So I thought that was a beautiful quote. That I felt that that was something mother would have offered to father in the past.
Any other questions?
Hi. I really enjoyed it for one. Well done. Yay. But the question that I have is that how political did you intend it to be? Because there's so I think I'm getting a bit sick of the song Home right about now. No. I mean, it came from a nice place, but yeah. wonder how political you intended it to be and how political you think that it actually is. Yeah, that's my question.
Good question. I didn't mean for it to be political. I don't think. I think a lot of the politics was eventually picked up by the press, especially the foreign press. Like I said earlier, it was really meant to address apathy. If it was any more political, I don't think it would have been funded by the Singapore Film Commission. And how did it? If I felt that it turned out to be more political, I think it's all about perception and how you perceive it to be. For me, it is still very much a family drama.
But is there a reason so many National Day songs were used? Because that makes it feel strange and patriotic.
Don't you think that when the choir sings the National Day songs, it sounds like a choir in church, and I wanted that to be a part of how I wanted to parallel, a political doctrine with a religious doctrine, and how essentially a lot of us are just told how to feel, and yeah, so that was just a touch.
Yes, I have questions for all three guests. First to Junfeng, how long did it take to work on the script itself? And we all know that the artists will always work on something until it's dead. So how long is this your true vision, or they have to pry it out of your hands to say, we have to show this, and you still have things you want to do? What would you like to improve on? To the actress, wonderful job. Such a wonderful thing to have a veteran stage actress to see on screen. But my question to you is, what is the most difficult thing from doing theatre now having to do, apart from toning it down, that you have to do? What's the most difficult thing that you have to adjust from stage to movies? And how is it? Yeah, you know that theatre directors are loud and angry, and working with him must be very strange, I presume. We should have spoken. So what kind of adjustments do you have to make from a stage point of view to film? And to Joshua, how kick-ass it is to look at yourself in the big screen. Were you cringing, or were you... but anyway, that's not my question. When you were reading the script, what was going through your mind? Because to me, it seems a bit abstract. So dragonflies and the communists and all that. How do you relate to that with someone your age? That, what was running through your mind when you read the script? That's all I want to know.